to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
I am Rex, and it's Rare Whiskey Friday.
That is correct.
Rare Whiskey Friday, we're going to go through and give first impressions on several different whiskeys. These aren't necessarily large brands. Sometimes they are. More often than not, these are going to be your smaller craft distilleries without a lot of distribution. If you should be so lucky as to live in a place where you can get your hands on any of these whiskeys, you're welcome for the review. And thank you to the magnificent bastards that sent the whiskey.
And jazz hands. So the question is, do you want to start or finish with a hopped whiskey?
We're going to need to finish with that.
Even though that's not how I really want to go out.
No, well, here's
You see the struggle.
I do.
It will ruin everything that comes next.
Well, I mean, hops is one of these flavors. It's very likely to stick with you and affect the subsequent flavors. So I'm saying we go out on it.
Okay.
We go out.
Let's start with what I think is going to be the winner in this lineup.
Okay.
Which is a gift.
Based on what?
You'll see.
Okay.
A gift from magnificent bastard Douglas Schadler.
Douglas Schadler, you magnificent bastard.
This is from 117 West Spirits, which is from Vista, California, which is in between San Diego and LA.
Okay.
They're making a malt whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about this one just because potential. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't like their label, but I like it because it's super nerdy and has all of the information about everything they did, including their malt recipe.
Big old rich nose, man.
Woo!
Aromatic, what'd you say, malty?
Crystal malt, chocolate malt, and roasted malt.
This is just a malt, I don't know.
It's dark chocolate, it's coffee, it's like toasted whole grain cereal.
Yeah. This is a smorgasbord of maltiness.
No, I love it.
Super rich.
I mean, this is approaching Westland level dark malt notes.
Right. And I'm getting notes of chocolate and there's some like rich, dark honey tea.
Look, I haven't even tried this yet, and I know we're not supposed to do this. This is first
first impressions, yeah.
But I'm gonna take a little bit of liberties just for a second.
Great.
They have this thing called an Alexandria still. It's the only time I've ever heard of this before.
Okay.
It is this still that when you look at it, is only about like this big around, and it comes up really narrow, and then there's the gang hole, and then there's this really massive, and it's all copper, right?
Yeah.
And most stills are, when they're steam heated, they're steam jacketed.
Yeah.
Which means you sit in a kettle and then you heat the outside like a pot.
Right.
Right? They inject the steam into the wash. Into the wash.
Well, okay, so right out of the gate, I'm thinking, well, that steam is going to carry water, and you're just going to dilute. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you are collecting all of that and then concentrating it into a liquid.
Yes.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Now, he said because of the method, they only do one distillation run.
That's very cool. It's very interesting.
It's super interesting.
Right, and then another interesting thing, maybe you already saw it. Did you see the proof on this?
No.
But you were talking about how rich it is.
Yeah.
It's 45%
No,
ABV.
no.
90 proof. That's ridiculous.
That nose is, I really like the nose. There's none of the weird low fainty funk.
I can't believe this isn't at least 50, if not mid-50s ABV.
I totally agree. And we don't even know how old this is.
Yeah.
It didn't have a batch number on it. It didn't have the distiller's name. They left half the label blank.
There's like some really nice hay and apple and granola and again, that dark chocolate, there's a fruitiness in there. This is an incredibly complex whiskey.
Yeah, I can't wait to try it. Please, please, please be good.
It's good.
Please be good.
Ooh. Oh! The nuttiness, Daniel.
It is. That's where the 45 shows up, though.
Hold on, though. Hold on.
Still like it?
Hold on.
Yeah. That is chocolate-covered walnuts.
So, one of my favorite flavors.
Yeah, I know.
Is
I know.
You got the Westland.
Yeah.
It does like this nuttiness, this dark, rich coffee character.
Deerhammer has it.
Deerhammer has it, and now I'll be damned.
Like
I think that specific note, that
quadrupled down.
Yes, I think that is the hero note in this whiskey, and it's one of my favorite notes of all time. It's so incredibly dark, rich, nutty, like a coffee character.
I really want to try the non-proofed version
And
of
it
this.
stays with you for days.
Yeah, because even at 45, the waxy walnut lingers, but it's a chocolate-covered walnut.
I'm very interested in that still that you're doing this with.
Right? Justin McCabe
Okay.
is the head distiller. Okay, I'm going to save this one because I have a feeling
How does this not have its own episode?
Because you can't just have your own episode because you like it. No one can get that.
It's really good. I always feel bad about really liking a whiskey that's really hard to get.
And then
because I know it
moving on.
has to be frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, so here's where, and I emailed the people who donated these. Yeah. Well, except for this one.
Can you imagine this though? Can you imagine this at like
cask 50, 55?
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about it because it would be glorious. And I don't have any.
It's just thinking about it. My dick is knocked in the dirt. Just not even the tasting. Just the imagining. Dick.
I'll show you how that happens.
Knocked in the dirt.
All right, so now I'm gonna have two back-to-back on a brand because I just can't help it.
Why?
Just can't help it.
Yeah, let me tell
We're gonna drink it too. This label's so illegal.
Okay, so fair and honest. Do you have reasonable justification, not two-bit personal opinion, but actual objective justification for giving people a hard time?
Yes.
Fair enough.
For one,
that's it. It's not two-bit personal opinion bullshit. But if you have reasonable, objective things that you can point at and say, hey, that's out of bounds.
Yeah, well, okay, it's both.
Okay.
So first is the label's illegal. They say bourbon whiskey, Aztec bourbon whiskey. It's not bourbon whiskey. It's whiskey distilled from bourbon mash, which means used oak.
Okay.
Right?
Wait, how does that whiskey distilled from bourbon mash automatically mean used oak?
Because it's the only thing you can do if you have all of the mash of a bourbon, but you didn't put it in new oak barrels.
Okay.
All you can do is call it whiskey distilled from a bourbon mash.
Okay.
That's not bourbon.
Okay.
Bourbon has to be new oak barrels.
Okay.
If you do anything other than new oak barrels, it's not bourbon. I don't know how they got this by basically probably, I don't know. But anyway,
so basically,
that's not bourbon
even though
whiskey.
there's no mention of the barreling process in that statement.
If they have that on there,
whiskey distilled from a bourbon mash.
the back label is partially legal.
Okay.
Now, my understanding from their own website.
Apparently, welcome to the law vault.
No, I know. It's my understanding is that they're using barrels and oak chips to like hyper age, and they're like, yeah, we can get aged bourbon in 1/12 the amount of time it takes for real bourbon. And that's how we work.
Now, just a quick moment, because like if you're gonna get technical about it, you could get real bourbon in however much time it takes you to pour new make spirit that meets the criteria through a new oak barrel bunghole. Then it becomes technically bourbon because there's no aging requirement.
Yeah.
So you can, I think the Pabst Blue Ribbon people did that.
Yeah.
Right? So there's not.
It doesn't matter.
All right, anyway.
But look,
I feel like we're nitpicking.
They filter the shit out of it.
Okay.
Their marketing is
I'm gonna let you finish. Hold on, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah.
Right after I run for president, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish. Oh, Jesus, yeah. Okay.
But I'm gonna say my criteria is always
Does it taste good?
It's always annoying whenever they do things like food coloring
know.
and all this other bullshit. But my main criteria, the main thing is, okay, do I like it? Is it enjoyable? All this other stuff. Yes, that does, affect it negatively whenever they're doing shady stuff. But is it just nice in a glass?
Well, and all they talk about is their hyper aging and how they're here to reach millennials and tattoo artists, and they're all about scale because scale reaches the most amount of people with their great product. And the only thing you can read on their whole website about their bourbon is choicest ingredients, distinctive in their label and promotion, and competitive in price. We've won medals. And it should be even better medals. This is my favorite. We won a medal at the San Francisco Spirits Competition and should be double gold by 2019 as we get better.
I'm gonna have that Nobel by 2021.
Yeah, any day now. Now, I'm sorry, Brandon Egbert and Troian Culbertson.
That's fine.
The magnificent bastards. Brandon Egbert
and Troy Culbertson, you magnificent
bastards.
Now,
Thank you.
I feel compelled to say,
Thank you for sending us whiskey.
we've said this many times before, the
Yeah.
point isn't to send something that we personally fall in love with.
No.
The point is to send something that's not in the vault.
Yep.
That's,
Success. And I haven't even tried it yet. My hand is allergic to drinking this whiskey.
Okay, just anything to keep away from me.
It's repelling like magnets.
I'm going to say this. On the nose,
It smells like bananas and funk.
I get more of like a licorice type of vibe.
I could see the licorice. Let's just say I just this morning threw away a whole bunch of bananas that were so far gone they were leaking out of their skins.
Okay, so-
and this smell has notes of that.
That's fine. I think Daniel's going to have a chip on his shoulder. On the nose,
Just wait till the next whiskey. It's way worse. It's way worse.
on the nose, I'm not in love with it. It has that licorice note, which isn't my favorite note. But it's not, offensive. It's not, off-putting.
It's overly honeyed licorice and like
Yeah.
banana, funky banana.
You're getting more banana. It's a 45% ABV.
And it just tastes like a budget whiskey. Like a really watered down, slight wood char.
Yeah.
But
That is very much you're basically rubbing shoulders in the budget whiskey category.
yeah, and if that's what they want, they put the right thing on the bottle front.
The finish is pretty non-existent for me.
Let's put a chick with a boob shirt and call it Aztec bourbon with snakes around her arms
Look,
and sell it for cheap.
I'm trying so hard to keep it qualitatively what's going on in the glass.
Can't do it.
I understand.
I can't do it.
But no, it's not something that I think just judging it on its own merits as best as I can, having this this raging inferno of annoyance next to me. It's flavors that aren't my favorite flavors, and they're very thinned out to like a budget level. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so
Are you ready? Prepare yourself for the most
Right.
American bottle you've ever seen in your life.
Yes.
Throttle to bottle.
Yes.
that's what it's called.
Throttle the
Throttle the bottle.
Throttle the bottle. American whiskey.
Yeah.
Celebrating the Second Amendment.
This is all on the bottle, by the way.
Yeah.
Second Amendment,
Right.
all motorsports, and I do mean all boats, motorcycles, cars, all motorsports,
Okay. Just put it on the
With a-
glass.
with a Texas plastic shot glass on the top,
Look, man.
and celebrating the Second Amendment and donating to the troops.
I don't understand where all this.
Canadian whiskey.
Damn it! Look, I was about to
From
say.
Wyoming. Yes. What do you do with that?
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. Well, hold on. Glass bottle, though. What? How did I become the apologist in this scenario?
For this bullshit.
I'm not.
Look, it's probably going to be good.
I'm not apologizing for what people do.
It's probably going to be reasonable Canadian whiskey.
Can we do where you pour it first, and then I nose it and sample and taste it,
Yeah.
and then you go off?
Yeah, next time.
Then you go off.
This was just so much fun.
That is Canadian.
America from Canada.
No, it is Canadian whiskey, through and through.
Yeah, straight up, that metallic vanilla, slight,
Right.
bright, shiny molasses note,
Slight caramel in there.
or syrup, almost syrupy.
Yeah, like a very sugary caramel.
Yeah, it just tastes like a slightly watery Canadian whiskey.
Oh, the finish though.
It's not bad.
It's I wouldn't say slightly watery. I would say very watery, especially
Yeah.
on the finish. That's where.
It's an almost invisible Canadian whiskey with, why Texas? You know they put that only on bottles going to each distributed state.
It feels like they're leaning into stereotypes
of all kinds.
and they're pandering to people. It's a little.
This is a product of trying to market to, this is the definition of porcupine marketing.
porcupine.
And as opposed to rhinoceros, which we always teach at the school,
Oh,
right?
right.
Good marketing is a rhinoceros. It's make one serious point.
Right.
And it makes it really fucking hard.
Right.
Bad marketing is a porcupine. A whole bunch of shallow points.
Right.
But never achieving anything. This is kind of my favorite part. You ready?
Yeah.
I went looking up this whiskey and I discovered the designer.
Ethanol ding, man.
The designer lists this product on his design what do you call it when you have a designer's
Portfolio.
Portfolio. Right. And this was his write-up. The idea was to make it all American, playing to all people who do various outdoor activities. I was able to incorporate all of those outdoor activities on one bottle, and everyone was pleased. This is directly from his website. Once the label was off to the printers, I also worked on neck hangers and various advertisements and the whole website design. You know what the website is?
Wow.
It's literally the graphics from the designer's bottle report. If you click on let's learn more about this whiskey, it's just pictures of the labels and the hang tag. And that's it. Like the designer 100% built the website.
I'm going to say, when it comes to what's in my glass right now, I don't enjoy it. Even in terms of budget Canadian, I'm getting those classic budget Canadian notes on the nose. On the taste, though, it gets very watery, and then it gets like this ethanol layer, just naked ethanol layer. It's very low proof. The thing that bothers me, though, is I think what you're ranting about, the fact that it feels very ham-fisted. When it comes to America and the Stars and the Stripes and the red, white, and blue, like that entire scene, it's supposed to be ostentatious and big and loud and brash. Like that is
so low-hanging fruit.
Well, but it's also quintessential America, right? I don't have any kind of adverse reaction to people just doing like really
America.
Like bawdy, brash, obnoxious, loud things with America and the flag and the fireworks.
But at least make it unique or funny.
Yes. But whenever you're just pulling from that scene and slapping it on a label and like, what are they like? Let's list all of the cliches that go along with that without any kind of new angle, novel humor.
This is like if a high school student came up with a business proposal.
It feels like pandering to a cliche.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Now, I will tell you,
and there are elements of the cliche that I adore about America.
Funny, yeah.
Right. But this feels like it's a little
plastic.
What's the the plastic? What's the? It's not pandering. It's whenever you are being condescending. It feels a little condescending. Yeah. That's the word.
Yeah, by accident. Now, this is a gift that I emailed her. Renita Reavis, patron saint. And I was like, hey, how do you feel if we just destroy this bottle on camera? And she was like, go for it. It's the stupidest bottle I've ever seen in my years of whiskey buying. And
Renita Reavis.
Yeah. You patron saint of whiskey. Basically, she was outraged by it.
So
and she's military.
Yeah.
And she sent it to us in order to be like, these guys.
She feels the same way.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
No, just one last thing on that. There's a very important point that I completely forgot about that I'm going to keep talking about and rambling about until I remember what I was going to say, which I finally remember. You see how that works? The fact that she sent in something knowing that we were going to most likely take a hot dump all over it.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, she gets it.
She gets it.
Yeah.
Now, ironically, this is going to be probably my least favorite of the lineup I'm anticipating. Yeah. But I really love everything these guys are doing.
Okay, because the reason is you don't like the hopped.
I don't like hops.
Yeah.
But these guys are a New York farm certified distillery, which means the majority of their product is actually from New York State.
Okay.
And they're a brewery.
Yeah.
And they were a brewery first. And then we're like, what if we started distilling our beer?
Sure.
So this is a double hopped.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, and it smells like an IPA.
Smells double hopped. If you like hops, man, this could be a really amazing whiskey for you, but that herbal funk, man.
I'm trying to see what kind of hop, but it's not on.
Almost, man. It's like the green.
Piney hops.
It's not. I don't know. Piney.
That's what they call it.
The way that we use the word piney, like that pine note, I think is different than the way that they are using.
This is lemon pledge.
Yeah, there's some lemon pledge. There's it's like greenery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really herbal green.
But so heavily perfumed.
You ever put your nose in a bag of weed?
No.
You have now.
Is that what it is?
There's elements. There's common, not that I would know. There's common.
You've read?
I've read
You've YouTubed?
in explicit detail. Could I have told you my weed story?
No, but your grandmother watches this show.
That's fine.
Oh.
She's probably high right now. Sup, Baga? I'm kidding. I was like, it was probably like 15 years ago. Had a client, and this clients, they fly in, they shoot in my studio, and he somehow flew in with like a freezer bag full of weed.
Commercial?
Yeah, no, he flew like, going through the airport.
Really?
And he said, yeah, man, this was a great shoot. Thank you so much. We're going to head back. I know the video's going to turn out awesome. Hey, can I just extend to you my appreciation by leaving this with you? And he hands me the sandwich bag.
I've already made it halfway. It was too stressful.
Right.
I don't want to go back.
No, the thing is, he said, I completely forgot that I had this in my bag. And I was going through like the TSA, whatever, and there was this moment where the agent opens the bag, and I look in the bag, and my eyes are wide open, and then she looks up at me, looks back down, shakes her head. Have a good day, sir. Lets him go.
No!
Lets him go.
Wow.
Right. So I take this home. Right. I was like, hey, Brandy. I got like the weirdest tip. I don't get tips for video production. That's weird. But I got like the first and only tip, and it was the weirdest whatever. Sandwich bag full of, like, as a freezer bag full of weed. It's like, oh my gosh, she grew up in small town South Carolina.
Yeah.
Parents
You can't do that.
Parents are like pastors.
They're gonna be banging down our door any second.
That weed made it all of like 8 seconds in my house before she insists that it be flushed down the toilet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet you could smell that in your house for the next 2 weeks.
Now, I will tell you though, like the drive over,
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
Yeah, so get pulled over. And you only live like a mile and a half, 2 miles away.
No, that was like, just driving the speed limit, hands at 10 and 2. We got this.
Come on, I'm in Texas, I don't want to die.
All right, here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, a fight for a friend.
Steal, may you steal your lover's heart.
I don't think we gave tasting notes on that one. I just realized you started the outro and I went with it, but I don't think we ever told them what it tasted like.
Tastes like what it smells like.
It does, it's lingering.
It's almost hot. It gets hot.
Oh, I'm going back to the Lions.
This is why we finished with this, Daniel.
Not the Lions though. Oh, go back to the Nutty.
This is why we finished with this.
It fixes it.
This is why, it's not going away.
It would have destroyed everything.
It's really hot hops.
Yeah.
It's hot hops.
Oh. Okay.
And if you drink,
Again, may you drink with us.